Hi guys, I'm going to make a video about Batman Arkham Knight, about the PC version specifically, and the news that kind of broke out today where it's just a shitstorm of performance problems with the PC edition. And this is nothing new. This is something that the video game industry has a problem with, and this has been going on for years. I think part of the problem it all came from the ability to update games and patch them after they were pressed onto disks. Since then, I believe that publishers and developers alike, they just figure that, okay, we will do as much as possible just to get it to look good and to get it to look like it's finished, and then we'll worry about the consequences after the fact. And this is because the video game industry is very worried about very strict deadlines and budgets. And because game companies and studios are run this way, this is why we have tons of problems. It's because they figure, well, you know, if it's good enough, we can worry about the issues later. We can actually devote a lower staff to resolve these issues and release them in patches. And I mean, patching is okay. I mean, if you look at a game such as League of Legends, they release patches all the time. They make little tweaks here and there. They do graphical updates from time to time to make sure that the game feels fresh and current. And they even go as far as to do complete reskins of their champs. And I think that that's what the update system should be used for. They're using it the right way. And of course, there's going to be that unavoidable glitch. I mean, nothing is perfect, but it just seems like they knowingly release these products broken, and they figure, well, we'll worry about it later because right now we want to sell this game right away. And part of the problem also comes from the fact that these are multi-plats. So, for instance, they can say, okay, Xbox One edition is complete, PS4 edition is complete, PC version, it's got the content since it's a port, but we're noticing some wacky performance issues, but it's still somewhat playable. So they figure, okay, well, this game has to release across all platforms at the same time. So they decide to do that. They decide just, oh, well, fuck it. We're just going to release it anyway, since our focus is mostly consoles, and no one can deny that. Most of the games released, their primary focus is the console gamer, even though that PC gaming is much more respected these days than it used to be back in the day. I think that these game developers should really start to retool their mindset and say, okay, well, the PC platform should really be the development platform, and that we should port them to the consoles after the fact, considering that they're all x86 based anyway. I mean, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are this very similar architectures to PC, so it's actually easier to port from PC to these consoles than the other way around. That being said, it looks like a decent game. I played Arkham City, I played Arkham Asylum. I know there was one in between. I never played it. But Arkham Knight looks like a game that eventually I will pick up for PC. But I will do it when it's like $15. So I mean, I have a hard time these days justifying $60. It's been a problem I've had for years now. And it's attitudes like this where they don't care. They're not, you know, it would have been better for them if they just said, okay, look, we're going to delay the PC edition, specifically the PC edition, for an extra month. We saw some bugs that, you know, we didn't feel comfortable releasing out to the public. Because at the end of the day, they need to understand that we're the customers and they have to do us right. They got to stop this attitude of treating us like second-class citizens, which they do. And part of the problem is the fact that us gamers, and I'm saying us gamers, we are okay with it because we purchase it anyway. We do this pre-purchase bullshit, which people need to stop. You need to stop doing this pre-order crap, you know, especially in the days of digital downloads. You know, pre-ordering doesn't make sense anymore. You know, I can understand if pre-ordering, you know, okay, there's going to be this new game, it's only on disc, and it's probably going to be sold out for a while. But in the day of downloads, what's the fucking point of pre-purchasing it? They're not giving you a cash incentive. They're not saying like, okay, if you pre-order it now, we're going to drop the price by $10. If they were doing that, then fine. I'm like, okay, this is a game that I wanted anyway. I saw the gameplay trailers and demos, and they're saying, hey, if you pre-order it by a certain time, we will actually credit you $10. But instead, no, they do these stupid, like, oh, we'll give you Harley Quinn missions if you pre-order it. And it's like, that content should just be there anyway. You shouldn't have to use that as an incentive to pre-order something. And I think it's just the whole entire industry is fucked. And this is just one of God knows how many issues that us gamers put up with when we really should not. And I think that it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And to me, I don't game anywhere near as much as I used to. Even though I'm currently unemployed and have a lot of free time on my hands, I still don't find the joy of playing games like I used to. And it's partially because of bullshit like this. The other big thing is DLC, which aggravates me to no end. I mean, my biggest beef with Forza Horizon 2 is that it loves to shove the Storm Island DLC down your throat. It keeps trying to remind you, hey, there is this pack that we could have either included in the game or whatever, but it constantly throws it in your face and says you must buy this. Or the fucking car packs, that they do. The way they do it is kind of bullshit. Back in the day with DLC, they used to only if you downloaded and installed the DLC would it actually show up in your main game. They actually put the DLC car packs in your main game. It's actually there. The code is already on your hard drive. They just charge you for the unlock because they push out these DLC packs a lot of times through updates. So you have the DLC pack, but they charge you to access it, which is bullshit. But yeah, the gaming industry is just idiotic, especially with PCs. And there's a lot of ports lately that have been coming out that are just shit. Watch Dogs, the PC edition, was unplayable at first. Had tons of problems with performance. And these are things where you have to scratch your head and say, okay, are they testing this on the same hardware that's actually consumer available? Because, when I have a GTX 690 and that sucker can't run Watch Dogs even on low settings, that's a problem. And the same thing with Batman Arkham Knight. There are people who are trying to play it with Titan X's and it's having a hard time maintaining even the locked frame rate of 30 frames a second. So this just needs to stop. And the other thing is they tend to outsource this a lot, and that was something that happened with Batman Arkham Knight. They outsourced the PC port to another company. And history has shown that when you outsource something, people fuck it up. Remember Gearbox when they fucked up Alien Colonial Marines? Sega's like, hey, yeah, we'll have Gearbox do it. And Gearbox completely dropped the fucking ball. And that's the case here. And I mean, PCs aren't the only ones that get fucked. A lot of times, especially with the PlayStation 3, this was a common problem where a lot of games just ran like utter crap on there. And the hardware can handle it. It's just that they poorly execute the game. One of the big ones was Bethesda's Skyrim. Skyrim had a known bug in there where after you exceeded a certain amount of hours, the frame rates would just drop like a brick. And they kept releasing update after update after update, promising that it would fix this issue, and it just never did. But, there's a difference between having a glitch that's, lately, like let's say in the middle of the game or something, and they found like the small glitch in a mission or something. But when it's a general performance problem, these kind of things really should never have passed quality assurance. And it seems like they don't put as much effort into it because we're the unpaid QA. We pay to be their QA, and that's ridiculous. It really is fucking ridiculous. So take care, guys. Look out for future content. I have a lot more video game videos planned and coming soon.